We have seen so far how to use animation presets. We have also seen how to create them. We've also worked a little bit on animating text on a path. It is time now to animate our text with other parameters from scratch. I will go ahead and delete this layer, and I'll write a new one, and I'll just call it Animators. I'll position it here in the middle so we can see it a little bit better. And I'll expand the layer. To the right of the text parameter, we're going to see the word animate with a drop-down menu. This is what we're going to need to use to apply animation parameters to this text. Go ahead and click on the drop-down menu, and let's select an animator for position. As soon as you select it, a couple of things are added to the timeline. One is an animator 1 with a range selector with a position parameter. It is important to note that this position parameter is not the same as the transform position. If you remember, this position, the one for transform, refers to the anchor point. It is where the anchor point is in relationship to the viewable area. The position for the animator is in relationship to this position for transform. Right now, the position for animator 1 and the position for transform are exactly in the same place, so the value for the position of animator 1 is 0. This would indicate in pixels for X and Y how far away the word is from transform position. The next thing that I want you to notice is the range selector. Let's go ahead and expand it. The range selector has 3 properties: start, end, and offset. Let me go ahead and zoom in the word so you can see this a little bit better. Notice that there is a vertical line to the left of the word and a vertical line to the right of the word. These lines are being controlled by these values. The value for start controls the line on the left. The value for end controls the line on the right. And offset controls both lines together. Basically, this is how it works. This position, let's consider that an effect. If I moved it up a little bit, notice that the anchor point doesn't move. I want you to notice that the effect gets applied only in between the lines, so that if I move the line and have the line only be around the letter A, only the letter A will be affected by this change of position. And furthermore, I can animate these lines. Let me go ahead and reset them, both of them, and I will also reset the position. And I'll zoom out. Let's have the letters drop down from up top. I will change the value for position globally. Now I'm going to animate the start value. Remember, the start value is that line on the left of the word. So, if I keyframe start, move in time, and now change the value of start to be 100, as the line moves to the right, the effect will be taken away from the characters one letter at a time. So my word is going to appear on the screen one letter at a time, starting with the letter A, which becomes apparent when I scrub the timeline. I'm going to go ahead and delete these keyframes, and now I'm going to keyframe the end parameter. If I keyframe the end so that it starts at 100 and it ends at 0, my characters will come in one at a time, but starting with the letter S. That is the last letter instead of the first one. As the lines move, the effect gets taken away from the word, and that's how we get the animation. I'll go ahead and delete this again, and I'm going to reset position. Now I'm going to change the Y position just a little bit, and I am going to scrub this word so that it's only around one character. Right now, This change in position will affect only the letter A. Now I'm going to keyframe the offset so that it starts with the letter all the way down and it goes through all of the letters one at a time. Both lines are being animated at the same time. That is what the offset does. Working with other animators is exactly the same thing. I'm going to go ahead and delete animator 1. I'll just click on it and delete it. I'm going to add another animator, this time for scale. If I globally change the scale, notice that each and every character becomes larger on its own axis. In other words, it's almost like each character had its own anchor point. We can now control the animation with the range selector. Remember, you can either scrub the number or just go ahead and move the line manually. I'll keyframe the offset this time and I'll start it at -11 and it will end at 100. As it plays, each character will become larger one character at a time. It would be exactly the same thing if we were doing rotation. I'll delete animator 1 and let's go now to rotation. And this time I'm going to animate the rotation value. And I'll change it the other way. And now I'm going to select both of these keyframes by clicking on the word rotation. And I'll copy, Control or Command C. I'll move in time and I'll paste a couple of times. And this just gives me an animation like that, where each character is just rotating around its own axis, right? Now I'm going to animate the range selector. I'm going to make the line just around one character. And now I'll keyframe the offset so that it starts at -11 and it ends at 100. If I play this, notice that each and every character now is rotating slightly different than the other one, but still one at a time. So you can keyframe both parameters or just one, however you want to do it, right? So the range selector works in conjunction with the animator by determining which characters get the effect and which characters don't. I'd like to end this lesson by just telling you that you can rename the animator. Right now this is named animator 1, but sometimes you're going to have more than one and you want to differentiate them a little bit better. Just click on it, press enter or return, and type in your new name. In this case, I'll just type rotation. And there you go.